Hi, I'm Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I wanted to show you some border ideas and some sashing ideas. Now this is a sample that I made a couple of years ago. I was looking for some new ideas for borders and sashes, and so I put some muslin on the machine and started playing around. And I had this drawn out in a 2-inch grid, so there's 2 inches between here, and then I had a grid line going through every 2 inches, and I just started playing around. Now some of these designs are pretty traditional, and you will see them on a lot of different quilts, and some may be new ideas to you. But what I found was that as I went along, more ideas came to me, so that may happen to you too. So I'm going to go ahead and, instead of quilting these out, I'm just going to trace over what I've already done. Now the first design idea is a swirl, and this is an alternate swirl. It means it changes directions as it goes. So you just find your starting point, and you're going to make a swirl and come in and then come back out and then do another swirl. This time you're going to go the other way around. So you're reversing what you're doing. And you can make this design backtrack on itself, or you can do like I've done here and keep it separate. That makes it go faster. You don't have to worry about keeping on top of things as you're backtracking. And this looks good in just about any size border that you have. Okay, the next one is called Coffee Bean. And this is kind of like an alternate leaf with a vein in it. So it looks kind of like a coffee bean if you've seen it, whole coffee beans. But you make your leaf shape and then come down through the middle. Make your next leaf shape and go up through the middle. Or if you want, you can just go down through the middle and then make your bean shape around it, your leaf shape. However works best for you. And if you have this gridded out, that can help you keep all of your spacing together. Okay, next we have is a leaf design. And these are also alternating, so I usually go down and do my stem first, and then I come up and do my leaf. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom, and then the vein, and then the leaf, up to the top, and the vein, and the leaf. And just do that all the way across. And I'd like to do the alternate positions of these just to give it a little more interest to the quilt, but you could make these so that they all go in one direction. Now this design is a traditional, more of a traditional design, and this one you do in 2 passes. So what you're going to do is do an arc, and instead of this being 2 inches wide, this is now 4 inches wide. You're just going to make arcs all the way across. And then you're going to reverse and come back and do arcs the opposite direction. So you do 2 passes, but you don't have to cut thread and come back. You just reverse the direction that you're going. Now this one here is a curl, and we're going to make a curl, come back down and make another curl. And you notice I'm only going through half of this 2-inch border here. So you could put a mark all the way through your border or your sashing with a ruler and a piece of chalk, or a ruler and an air soluble pen or a water soluble pen, and then do your 2-inch grids, or you can freehand it. But then we're just going to continue and make the curls as we go. Up and around, up and around, up and around, up and around. And then you can come back. You'll have to break your thread on this one, come back to the other side, and do the same thing. And you just have to backtrack over your curl. Or if you want, you can just leave that open like this. Okay, next we have rickrack. Now rickrack, you can use a ruler like this. This one has a scalloped edge on it, and then it has a wavy edge here. This is it's a 2-inch curved and scallops ruler, and this is by Rob's Rulers. So you can get one like that there, or there are similar ones out at other places. This one, I didn't use this ruler, I just kind of eyeballed this one. This is another one where you need to do this in 2 passes. And I believe on this one that I did have a line. See where this separates it right down the center. And then I had my 2-inch marks. And you could either eyeball that, or you could make 1-inch marks all the way across on your quilt. But you're basically just going to do an arc between the spaces. And these are 2 inches here. And then when you come back, you're going to bring your point up to this middle line, but it's going to be in the middle of this arc here, and this makes your rickrack. Just follow that all the way across. Now this next design is kind of along the same line, but we're going to do the arcs up fairly high. This one is kind of directional. So it depends on which way you want this to lie. But we're doing arcs all the way across. Then when we get to the end, we're going to reverse and we're going to put a loop in it. And you can make these go up really high, or you can make them go down lower, like this. Okay, this next one is just kind of a ribbon, and this is just in about a 1-inch space. And ribbons are just a curvy line, and then you come back and you curve it again. After that we have herringbone, and those are just loops going up and down all the way across. And these are some traditional designs here. And then you can also do herringbone with an alternate, a smaller herringbone in between them. And these go pretty fast. So even these that you have to do 2 passes to, they will go really fast. And then do the smaller one in, and you're just kind of going about halfway through. About halfway up to the next herringbone. So you have a different pattern in here. And that helps fill your space a little bit better. Now we have, this is an egg and dart design, only this is kind of squished together. So we're going to do all the arcs going one direction. And then we're going to come back and go the opposite direction. And this one, when you get to the end of your row, like here, if this is the end of your quilt, just hop over into your binding area and just stitch up there and come back. And that way you don't have to break your thread. So I'll show you a few more. Okay, this area up here is double circles. And to do this, we're actually going to do arcs instead of double circles. So we have the 2-inch border, and what this has is a line going through the center at the 1-inch mark. And then it is divided into 1-inch segments this direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an arc between 2 sections. So these would be 2 inches apart. And do that all the way across. And you have to make a couple of passes on this one. And then we're going to come back and we're going to meet at the bottom. So we're going to go down to the bottom and then meet up at this point here. Now to make this a double circle, this is one way you can do circles. You don't have to do them completely round and then go to your next one. You can do it like this. But to make this a double circle, we're going to go back and do our arcs at the top and just fill in the space in between. So the other areas that are marked with the 1-inch, we're going to fill those in. And then come back down and do the bottom part. And so it's kind of important to hit that point where all of those stitching lines meet, and that'll give you the illusion of circles, that you're doing complete circles all the way around. And so you get this look here. Now this next design is something that I just came up with. I was just playing around and came up with this. I decided instead of doing arcs, I wanted to do triangles. So I did triangles, but I left me some space at the bottom so that I could come back and put in more triangles. So, or peaks, like mountain peaks. And then I came back and I did these, and these are about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch away. These aren't very consistent because this was just a practice piece and I was just playing and wasn't real interested in getting things really accurate. So then we had all these spaces here to fill in, so I decided to just fill it in with loops. So this quilt actually has 4 passes on it, or this border has 4 passes on it. But none of this takes time. It doesn't take very much time. And it gets done very quickly. And then you have yourself a fairly nice border. That might look good like on a Southwest quilt or something. Okay, the next is arcs and hearts and loops. So this one takes a couple more passes again. How I did this is I did the arc, came up and did the heart, and then another arc. So an arc, half a heart, and the other half, and then did this all the way across the quilt. And then when I got to the end, I came back and filled in those arcs with loops. And then I decided, let's try hearts with ovals in them. So we have a heart. I'm going to need the pin. And then come up and do an oval. And come back down and do the heart. And then we do the oval. And it's more of a teardrop than an oval. And this one is directional too. So your hearts are definitely facing one direction and your teardrops are facing the opposite direction. And This one is also a couple of passes. We've got, these are wider apart. These are more 4-inch wide here. And I came up and did kind of a circle or an oval, and then did this. It's almost a triangle shape, but it's kind of a rounded triangle. And to do another circle. And then I came back and put a loop in. So you can see these are all simple shapes. We've got arcs, and we've got circles, and we've got loops, and a few straight lines. And that's about all there is to these. They're just combined together to make different designs. Okay, the next design, there's actually two designs in this row here. This is kind of an eyelet design, and this is just a row of circles. So this is more of a 1-inch border. As opposed to a 2-inch. And my pins are going dry on me. Here we go. So we have just some loops. And then I came back and did the arcs over top of the loops here to give it an eyelet look. And then this is just circles or loops that are alternating up and down. Okay, this next one is a 3-leaf clover, and this was marked here. I marked this with a water-soluble pen, and I did wash this out, but I can see the faint lines because I left this water-soluble pen in for several months. So if you do this on a customer quilt, don't leave it in that long because it does ghost back again and you will see it. So if you use a water-soluble pen on a customer quilt, you want to wash that out as soon as you can. Okay, so we're just making a 3-leaf clover, coming up with an arc, and then going into the next 3-leaf clover. No leaves, just the clover part. The clover leaves, there's nothing else on them. I guess clovers are leaves, aren't they? But that's all we have to do for this. And then this next row, it's a curl and another arc. And we're going to start with making a curl and go right into the next curl. As you come up on this tail, backtrack and then make your next curl. And we do this all the way across. And then we're going to come back and we're just going to echo this. So it's another arc, but you're echoing about 1/4 of an inch away from your curls. Now this design here is another curl, and then it's going to come back, instead of arcing like we did on this one, we're going to come back and follow the outline so it's more slanted, and you can come in and go into the curl here. So it's a different way, and it's kind of like a wave. It looks like a wave when you get done. And then these are little cabbage roses, and you come in and you do your hook, and then you come out and do your little petals. Come back and do another hook, and do another petal. And you just keep going all the way across. And this design down here, let's give this up a little bit more. You can do this as one design like this up here, or you can do it as two. And this is, once again, the arc that you're coming back. So it's like the pumpkin seed. Only then you're going to come down and echo it, or mirror image it is what you're doing. And this will be good for a wider border, like this would be a 4-inch border. And then here is some more curls, and they're just continuous. My pins are all running out on me. And just make a continuous curve all the way around, all the way across. Okay, this design here is just some continuous loops. And the halfway point would be right about here. So you want the loop part to be above the line, and then you're coming down with the arc. And then on your next pass, you're going to just do it mirror image. And try and get that to line up as best you can so that it doesn't look lopsided like the way I quilted it. Okay, if you want to do a line of stars and you don't want to stop and start with each star or do any backtracking, you're going to do your upward point. You're going to do the main legs of the stars. So you're going to make the mountains part. And then when you come back, then you're going to finish up the rest of your stars. So you're going to go like this. So go up and do the top and then back to the bottom. So up, across, down, up, across, down. And then you've got yourself a row of stars. Okay, this design here is really simple. It is just, we're going to do kind of a petal shape, do an arc at the bottom and another petal shape and an arc. And do that all the way across. Now it's like continuous curve. So if you want to not leave it looking like this and you want to do something at the top, just come up to the top here and just do your curve at the top and look like the continuous curve that you would do in like a 9-patch block. Okay, at the bottom here, let me pull this up a little bit. Here, these are reverse hearts. And they just take a little practice, but you just make your heart shape and come through and do your next. So if you want, you can put a line between those, but they don't quite end up perfectly even that way. So the main point is to get your heart shape to end down here, touching the heart, make the 2 bumps there, and come up and touch, 2 more bumps and touch. And you just do that all the way across. This takes a little bit more time, but it really doesn't take a lot of time. So this is something that you could do fairly quickly. And just do that all the way across your quilt. So that's about all I have for today. I do have another sample of borders and sashes, and I will make a video on those, and I'll have them for you in the future. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my newest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.